Once upon a time, in a land filled with promise and hope, lived a woman who longed for a child. One day, an angel appeared to her with wonderful news. "You will have a son," the angel said. "He will be a Nazirite, a special person dedicated to God. This son will be incredibly strong and will achieve great things." The woman's heart overflowed with joy. She couldn't wait to share the news with her husband. The woman and her husband named their son Samson. Just as the angel promised, Samson grew strong. God blessed Samson with extraordinary strength. He could do amazing things no ordinary man could do. Samson was a true wonder. He protected his people from their enemies, the Philistines. But Samson also had a passionate heart. He often followed his desires with great zeal. Even though he was incredibly strong, Samson had to learn that true strength comes from God. One bright day, Samson was walking through a vineyard. He saw a Philistine woman. Samson found her very beautiful and wanted to marry her. His parents were concerned but supportive. They knew it was a challenging choice, but they believed in Samson's strength and destiny. This decision would be the beginning of his remarkable journey. The wedding day arrived. As was the custom, Samson's wife prepared a grand feast. 30 Philistine men attended. Samson, eager to challenge these men, decided to test their wit with a riddle. "If you solve my riddle within 7 days," he declared, "I'll give you 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. But if you can't, you'll give the same to me." The Philistines accepted the challenge. They believed they could outsmart Samson. "Tell us your riddle," they demanded. Samson smiled confidently. Out of the eater came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. The Philistines were puzzled. They couldn't figure out the answer. For days, they struggled to find the solution. Finally, they went to Samson's wife. "Trick your husband," they pleaded. "Make him tell you the answer. If you don't, we will burn you and your father's house down." The woman, afraid for her life, begged Samson to reveal the answer. Finally, he gave in. He told her that the riddle referred to a lion he had killed, whose carcass had become home to a honeycomb. Samson's wife immediately told the answer to the Philistines. When they approached Samson with the solution, he was furious. He knew his wife had betrayed him. Angered, Samson attacked a nearby Philistine city and defeated 30 men to obtain their garments for the wager. This act of strength marked a turning point in Samson's journey, igniting a legacy of resilience and courage that would inspire generations. Despite his challenges and heartbreak, Samson remained a man of great strength and resilience. One day he met a woman named Dalaila in the valley of Sorek. He was captivated by her beauty. Unbeknownst to Samson, Dalaila was a Philistine with her own struggles and loyalties. The Philistine rulers, seeking to understand Samson's strength, approached Dalaila. They offered her a fortune if she could discover the secret of his amazing strength. Dalaila, torn between her people and her growing affection for Samson, agreed. She showed Samson kindness and affection, hoping to understand him better. Over time, Samson grew to trust Dalaila. He believed she truly cared for him. Blinded by his feelings, he didn't realize the full extent of her inner conflict. Dalaila would gently ask Samson about his strength. "Tell me," she would ask, "what is the secret of your great strength? What could be used to tie you up and make you helpless?" Samson, weary of her constant questions, initially misled her. He told her that if he were tied with fresh bowstrings, he would become weak. Dalaila, following the Philistines' instructions, tied him up while he slept. But when Samson awoke, he effortlessly broke free. Twice more, Samson misled Dalaila, claiming that his strength resided in his hair being woven into a loom and in being bound with new ropes. Each time, Dalaila, prompted by the Philistine lords, attempted to subdue him while he slept, and each time Samson easily broke free, much to her amazement. However, Dalaila was persistent. She continued to ask Samson, her concern wearing down his resolve. Finally, he succumbed to her relentless pressure and revealed his deepest secret. "No razor has ever been used on my head," he confessed, "because I have been a Nazirite dedicated to God from my mother's womb. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me and I would become as weak as any other man." Despite the trials, Samson's spirit remained unbroken, a testament to his enduring faith and strength. Dalaila, realizing the truth in Samson's confession, waited until he was fast asleep. She summoned a Philistine to shave off the 7 braids of his hair. As his hair fell to the floor, Samson felt his extraordinary strength drain away. He had been betrayed by the woman he loved. The Philistines seized Samson. They gouged out his eyes and threw him into prison in Gaza. Blinded and humiliated, Samson endured their cruel mockery. He was forced to grind grain like a beast of burden, a shadow of his former self. But Samson's hair began to grow again. As it grew, so did his strength, though he remained a prisoner. One day the Philistines held a great festival in their temple to honor their god, Dagon. They brought Samson out to entertain them. Unaware of his renewed strength, they placed him between the pillars that supported the temple. As the crowds jeered, Samson cried out to God. "Remember me," he prayed. "Please give me strength just once more, and I will get my revenge on the Philistines for my 2 eyes." Then Samson reached out his arms and pushed with all his might against the pillars. The temple walls crumbled and crashed down, burying Samson and the Philistines in a heap of rubble. In that single act of defiance, Samson killed more Philistines than he had during his entire lifetime. Samson's story is a heroic one, a tale of immense strength and unwavering faith. It reminds us that true strength comes from God and that even in our darkest moments we can find redemption. It's also a story about forgiveness and the power of faith. Even though Samson faced great trials, he ultimately turned back to God. And in the end, he fulfilled his destiny with courage and strength. Samson's story invites us to explore other inspiring stories from the Bible. Each tale offers lessons about faith, courage, and the human spirit. Pick up a Bible today and discover the timeless wisdom it holds.